so many times. At the end of the day, with the benefit of all the hindsight that one could have, it was definitely the wrong thing to do. But at the time, I felt it was the honourable and right thing to do. And I admit fully that my judgment was probably coloured by my tendency to be too honourable, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's just one of the, like, what? How is he honorable in this? How is that anything to do? I don't get that. Like, again, James O'Keefe, I disagree with him on a lot of things. We had a great tweet about this. My tendency to be too honorable is why I stayed at the home of Jeffrey Epstein. Quote from Prince Andrew: "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength." George Orwell, 1984. Like, that just makes absolutely no sense. So, yeah, this is one of the most, probably, people are just shocked by this. And now Boris Johnson actually coming out and defending him. And it's hard to find the really offensive clip online here. I'm trying to dig through it, but and get this. Apparently he was, of all the possible places, of all the fake alibis he could have made up, because, I mean, let's be honest, this thing is obviously fake, right? He was taking his daughter to a pizza place in Woking. A pizza place! Come on! Dude, come on. Like, what is it? What? You know what is going on here. I mean, it is just wowing that any of this, like, it's quite incredible. So I do want to play from you a little bit more of this sound from this incredible interview. And I want to emphasize here, not once was he in the interview like, "I'm so sorry that any of this happened to Epstein's victims. This is an awful situation." Not once. And this is probably the moment that everybody is talking about. His excuse for his multiple interactions with Jeffrey Epstein's girls, including Virginia Jeffrey.
She was very specific about that night. She described dancing with you and you profusely sweating, and that she went on to have possibly.
There's a slight problem with the sweating because I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat. I didn't sweat at the time, and that was I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at. And I simply, it was almost impossible for me to sweat. And it's only because I have done a number of things in the recent past that I'm starting to be able to do that again. So I'm afraid to say that there's a medical condition that says that I didn't do it, so therefore.
Yeah, so that is his excuse there. I apologize for the background noise, because since we are recording this outside the UK, it's a lack of access to BBC video, but it is literally, that was his excuse. I was sweating. I couldn't sweat at the time. That's how it wasn't able to work. I apologize. So LA-based lawyer Lisa Bloom, who represents 5 victims, told The Guardian that Andrew's intervention fell short of ending questions over his relationship, saying it was deeply disappointing. He said, that he'd been in the Pizza Express in Woking on the day of the alleged meeting with the accuser Virginia Jeffrey and claimed a condition linked to the Falklands War prevented him from sweating, undermined her story, and described Epstein's history of pedophilia as, quote, unbecoming, and refused to express regret for their friendship. Really just incredible. Former royal press officers and PR experts described his appearance as excruciating and arrogant. Some describing it as, I think it was like plane crashing into oil tanker, igniting a tsunami that ignited a nuclear blast level bad. The Guardian learned that after filming the interview concluded that Andrew had been pleased enough with how it had gone. He gave Newsnight team a tour of the Buckingham Palace. So he thought it was great. It was great. It emerged that key PR advisor bought in to help salvage Andrew's reputation, left just weeks into the job and only a fortnight before the interview was broadcast after he advised the prince against it. But he really wanted to do it. It just showed that he had nothing to hide. That's why he thought it was the best idea. The Students' Union at Huddersfield University, where Andrew is chancellor, unanimously backed a motion demanding that he resign from his post. Sources in the prince's private office insisted that he stood by the interview and believed he dealt with the issues honestly and humbly. Okay, so that I was so honest. I was sweating during the Falklands War, and I was at a pizza party with my daughter. Like, that's really what it is. It felt like a wink there at that point. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, so, again, it's just mind-blowing quotes from this. Mateless, this is the interview, asked the prince why he visited Epstein in New York in 2010, again, after he's been convicted. During the visit, the pair were famously photographed walking in Central Park and at Epstein's $82 million mansion. Andrew said the purpose of the trip was to break off their friendship, something that he would have been too cowardly to do with a phone call. He said would have been too cowardly to do with a phone call. I had a number of people counsel me in both directions, either to go and see him or not go and see him, and I took the judgment call. And because this was serious, I felt that doing it over the telephone was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go and see him and talk to him because, again, he's just too honorable. I took the decision that it was to show leadership, and I had to go see him and tell him that's it. Like, yeah, you got to be nice to the guy who's already served time for pedophilia. During this trip, the purpose was apparently to break up their friendship, this Epstein mansion. He said it was a convenient place to staying in his house, apparently to break up the yeah. So what? It's like, yeah, sorry, I can't be friends with you anymore, but can I stay in your pedophile mansion again, please? Like, yeah, and again, it's because I'm too honorable that I want to stay in your pedophile mansion. Like, a 4-day stay was a weird way to end a friendship, and there was no shortage, again, of fancy New York City hotels that Andrew could afford to stay in. Jesus, wow. Yeah, that is incredible stuff. Just incredible stuff. He chose to talk. Prince Andrew said that he had a mental health issue nagging at his mind for a great many years. Andrew's main defense throughout the interview was claiming that he could not recall ever meeting victims, ever seeing the young women go in and out of Epstein's house, or ever knowing about Epstein's 2006 arrest warrant, which he had invited the American Prince to Prince Beatrice's 18th birthday party at Windsor Castle. Oh, God. He also said there's no way he could have had sex with any young women trafficked by Epstein, again, because he can't remember. If you're a man, it's a positive act to have sex with someone. You have to take someone, some sort of positive action, and so therefore you try to forget. If you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget a positive action, and I do not remember anything. I can't. I've racked my brain thinking, when the allegations came out originally, I went, well, that's a bit strange. I don't remember this. That's his thought there. That's a bit strange, huh? He also said that it was possible for him to be around Epstein and not be aware of what was going on, because if you're someone like me, then people behave in a subtly different way. Like, insanely, probably one of the worst interviews, just in terms of just smarts and just IQ that I've ever seen. All right, that's all the time we got for you today. Hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back Wednesday or Thursday for some debate-related bonus episode. We'll get that to you and break everything down that happened at what is sure to be a pretty interesting debate. Also talk about the rest of the news there. Try to fit in a bonus episode for you this Thursday. Of course, we got a new Red Alert coming Monday. So, yeah, get hyped for that as well. It's Newsflash.
Bernie, bitch. Bernie, bitch. Bernie, bitch. Bernie, bitch. Bernie.